This is another episode in my IoT upscaling, reusing, repurposing IoT project. I had taken some disk drives out of my old PC, and what I have here is a USB docking station that allows me to actually read these old disk drives. And similarly with the floppy disk, I have an interface card that converts the floppy control into a USB interface. So I was able to read and write an old floppy disk using my other computer. This particular Surface doesn't seem to work very well with that floppy drive, but it does work with my main PC. This MaxStore hard drive is a 10 gigabyte hard drive, and it's taking anywhere from 160 milliamps to 700 milliamps at 12 volts. But it's also working, and I actually discovered on this disk a lot of old photographs which I had forgotten were on here, so it was very handy that I put this together to look at that. And I did have to stop my project and back all that stuff up onto another drive so that I can retain all those photographs. But it was very handy that I actually took this apart and looked to see what was on there. One of the things that's on here is some old projects from long before Element 14. For example, here's my BorgBot, which is a robot with all kinds of circuitry and sensors on it. This is a firefighting robot, so it has a fire extinguisher, and it has a flame detector, as well as a bunch of position sensors and distance sensors, including optical, ultrasonic, and so on. It's a three-wheeled tricycle style with the front wheel is the steering wheel. It can rotate, as it's also the drive wheel. So it's a one-wheel drive, but it's not dragging a skid plate or anything like that. It's a proper tricycle. So it's come a long way since then, but it's nice to go back and look at some of this old stuff. And I'm happy that I can actually make use of these old disk drives, and I'll keep them around as sort of archival backup. And I have cases of floppy disks, mostly for my Amiga, but even for the PC, there's a lot of floppy disks around this house. So I may, at some point, want to go through those. I can remember the first digital camera that I used floppy disks to store images, one of those old Sonys. So I tried to put an image on this floppy, and I had to resize it because a single image wouldn't even fit on a floppy. You know, it was an 8 megabyte image, and this thing is only 1.4 megabytes. So I had to resize it down to a half a megabyte just to get it onto the floppy. You know, if you wanted to store a 10-minute video, you'd need over 1,000 of these floppy disks. So we live in a privileged age where memory has become a lot cheaper.